So yesterday, a federal judge sentenced former Virginia Governor Bob Vaginal Probe McDonnell. I don't think the judge used his nickname.
He did.
Oh.
And he was like, hey, yo. He actually
Bob
roasted
McDonnell,
him.
of course, was promoting the vaginal probe legislation for women who were seeking to exercise their right to get an abortion in Virginia. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison, which was, by all accounts, unexpectedly lenient for a man convicted of selling the influence of his office. He was convicted of basically selling the influence of his office to a guy who owned a company that made nutritional supplements. And he did so for $177,000 in loans and gifts. His wife, Maureen, was also convicted. She will be sentenced February 20th. Here is Pat Robertson explaining on the 700 Club how Bob McDonnell, who was at one time touted as a likely presidential contender, if not vice presidential contender, and how quickly he had fallen from grace. Here is the Reverend Pat Robertson.
Here's the deal. Bob McDonnell was a potential candidate for the United States Senate. Turned out that he probably would have won in this last election because he was so well known if he'd been left alone. From there, he was a potential, I don't think they say presidential, I think he was a potential vice presidential contender. He was high on the list. He was a rising star in the Republican Party, and the Justice Department decided to go after him, and it was just terrible. And sure, he made mistakes. He's like Adam, you know. The Eve was the one that got seduced by the snake, but Adam ate the fruit. And I think Bob McDonnell got seduced. His wife was into this anti-block thing that supposedly would be a cure-all from using tobacco.
There you are. It's the wife made him do it in cahoots with the Department of Justice. And, you know, what are you going to do? She made him get that Rolex. Because sometimes the ladies, I got involved in a diamond mine. Africa, 'cause my wife just kept harping. Could I have a diamond? I ended up having to buy a whole diamond mine. So, you know, it wasn't for the Department of Justice meddling with his own. Speaking of which, I have my own anti-smoking supplement that if I could just get a potential governor out there to get their people to use it, supply it in there. Yeah. So there it is, Bob McDonnell. Upon his sentence, outside the courthouse, McDonnell clasped the hands of his two daughters and vowed to appeal the case, saying he never, ever betrayed my sacred oath of office and that his ultimate vindication would come from Jesus Christ. So he has that going for him. Well, I mean, you know, we'll see. I guess we will wait until Jesus ends up revoking his 2-year sentence and giving McDonnell time off for good behavior or just being, you know, forced in to eat that apple. Then I guess McDonnell will prevail. Yeah, he will. So there you have it. Good luck with that.